The Nike Zoom Fly 4. This is a shoe that I have now 200 plus miles on it, and you would think it's approaching the end of its life, but believe me, I don't think that's the case at all. Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Filip Latocha, and today we're going to be talking about the Nike Zoom Fly 4 at 200 plus miles, what I was expecting out of the shoe, what's happening with it right now, kind of, the overall situation with it, with the pros and cons, because there are a few cons I'd like to discuss at this point in time. But yeah, without further ado, let's definitely get into it. But before that, of course, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed to the channel and you're enjoying this content and watching it on a regular basis, thanks so much. Love you guys a lot. Specs for the shoe are right up here, as you can guess. And we're just going to get right into it. So, of course, I got to show you guys what the outsoles look at this point in time and kind of explain and justify why the wear is the way it is. So, that is the left foot, including the left heel. This is the right foot, including the right heel. And, of course, as you guys already know from this channel, the right foot is always experiencing something interesting. But there's a little twist here, right? Because of two particular things. One, I am running a little bit slower in this shoe than like my everyday training speed. It's actually more at a recovery kind of math tone pace of being in that zone 2 heart rate. So I am actually really challenging myself to run below, I think it's like 8:45 to 9 minute per mile pace in this particular shoe. Now obviously that number is going up a little bit as I'm getting a little bit faster. My heart rate's getting lower in that process. But it's also worth noting that in the right foot in particular, this area here that is kind of like my prime point of striking is improving in terms of being balanced between both shoes, as you can kind of see. It's still pretty profound in the right foot, but it is clearing up. Also kind of showcasing itself in this area as well, which means maybe my form is becoming a little more symmetrical, or it's just based entirely on the terrain which I'm running on. So I'll tell you with full confidence, since I bought this shoe, I've definitely put more than over 70% of my miles on treadmills with this particular shoe. That being said, I have had outdoor runs with it, and like the experience is a lot different because I did have that fractured fibula and it was kind of tricky running with it in that case, but I digress. Now that I'm at about 98 to 99% fully recovered, I can give you guys a lot more assessment in terms of speed and some of the symptoms I'm experiencing with the shoe as of that, moment. So, this is what's definitely good, of course, is that when you want to go fast with this shoe, it's going to go fast with you. It's going to follow you, particularly in the case of like a treadmill, and also going outside as well, you will feel that. But if you've run in something before, like obviously the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent or the Next Percent 2 in this particular case, brand new by the way, we'll be talking about this 2022 model very soon. But I digress. The point is, if you've run in like a lighter carbon plate shoe in the past, or if you've run in something like a Tempo Next Percent or an Alpha Fly, this is going to feel heavier on the quadrant of those four shoes, which you kind of just get over by not running in your race shoe on a daily basis, and you just make the daily trainer or the Tempo everyday racer kind of your everyday runner overall. So that being said, I can finally put in some of the numbers I was looking for, such as like the sub 6 minute per mile, kind of the 5:30 pace, kind of a 5:10, if I really wanted to kind of experiment with it. The shoe is going to go with me to those distances, but there's one caveat, and it's only occurring in my left foot. I don't know if, sound off in the comments below if you've experienced this before, but the way my left foot is striking on the ground, it is in this, mid-foot area, in this ball or whatnot. There's some kind of cushioning, maybe a structural issue where when I'm running, it feels like the ball of my foot just begins to burn, like really bad. Either it's like burning or it's like stretching just based on the impact, or it's just because I'm slapping it so many times, it's just beginning to crack, whether it's like the skin or like the tendons or something there in the foot. It doesn't feel like it's like breaking, because I've broken the foot before and I know what that feels like. It's nothing like that whatsoever. But it feels like something structural in the shoe, not necessarily from the outsole to the insole of the shoe, but something between like the insole and this upper foam just doesn't have a really comfortable impact for your foot. And like, again, I guess we can try to pull out the insole of the shoe and see if there's anything sort of like going on with it, but I mean, nothing profound again. as you can probably see from like the insole itself. It's not washed or anything like that. It just has, you know, just the generic like debris from socks and whatnot. I guess you could see where like the areas of like the big toe are kind of sticking out. You can see where the ball of my foot is, like right in this area where it's kind of digging. I wonder how much of this might be friction, in the case that because of like this like I don't know, this kind of like furry material in the in this insole, maybe when the foot is like moving around, we're creating or like generating some kind of heat on the bottom of the foot. It's very likely, but probably like at a really micro level, not to the point where like I'm not tying my shoe properly and that's what's causing this issue. I have resolved that very early on, but something about it is just causing a lot of friction realistically. And I think, if we're going to be fair, if there was some kind of movement or some kind of friction here, at least the decals on this insole would at least peel off, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So I think it might be just something more with the impact of my foot in this particular case. But again, it could be something carbon plate related. Actually, as a matter of fact, it is carbon plate related because that's just what it is. In terms of like the shoe overall, it's like you're trading an efficiency and having that speed for a lot more of a kind of, I guess the word I'm looking for is a little more stressed of a run, because you are using more, you know, calf muscle to basically kind of get this push because of the, you know, the rebound effect of the carbon plate overall. So now as I'm looking at it, I don't know if the GoPro is necessarily going to catch this. You can see somewhere in the shoe here, I wonder if I can like get it, maybe if I angle it like that. You can see that there's a hole on the ball of the foot in that area right there. I'm wondering if that's playing a part in the burning sensation. Maybe it's just the way the shoe kind of collapses in this particular case. It seems to be like the only spot, and maybe there's like also a piece in the heel here as well. I don't know if it's a natural hole or not, but I wonder if that's playing a role in that burning sensation in the foot realistically here. Man, I don't know. It's going to take some time to kind of figure it out. But I know for a fact that if I do put in hard runs in this shoe, I am going to feel a burning in my left foot. And it's not really conclusive whether it is, in fact, the insole of the shoe or if it's something structural or this is just a Zoom Fly 4 kind of thing. So that's like realistically the major con with this shoe that I'm experiencing right now with it. And it's not uncommon, I think, in most carbon plate shoes I've run in. But particularly in this one, it's more profound in the ball of the foot. So basically, that's just the major con. And again, one of the pros, of course, as I mentioned, is that if you want to go really fast, the shoe is definitely going to go fast with you, which is what you want out of it. And I guess the consequence of the pro necessarily is that, like, I was inspired to buy the, you know, the Vaporfly Next% 2, which again, I've run in the Vaporfly Next% 2 in the past in the blue edition of the shoe, which was, I guess, the 2021 model or the 2020. It depends how you view it. But at this point in time, now that I've got this new model, I will review it as we go along. And there's a couple of reasons as to why I've bought the Next% 2 again, despite how I disliked the shelf life of the shoe or its usage life overall. So we'll definitely get into that, but I am a fan of, you know, this Volt color. I thought the green would be a lot deeper green, and I was kind of like, about it. But I'm glad that it's kind of resembling, of course, the Zoom Fly 4's color combination, and they're just kind of like in the same, pretty much exact same color palette, just different material overall. So I will be talking about that shoe as we go along for sure. But I think I'm going to end the video here, and of course my overall conclusion is that this is a really awesome everyday racer, everyday trainer, if you so choose it to be. As a recovery shoe as well, it'll do just fine. Just be conscious of, you know, your recovery paces, and just be aware that this shoe will give you that extra rebound because of carbon plates. You already know all about that if you're watching this video in particular. And if you are experiencing like this burning sensation in the ball of your foot from the carbon plate or the insole or some combination of both of them, sound off in the comments below and let me know what you guys think. I guess if you've watched my Pegasus 38 review as to why I've returned that shoe and I couldn't handle it because of like the pain that it was causing, it's not quite like that where it's painful, but it is just burning, and that's kind of why I'm really skeptical about pushing anything past the 6 minute per mile pace in the Zoom Fly 4s realistically. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed the review, definitely sound off in the comments below. And again, as I mentioned with the burning sensations and things like that in the carbon plate shoe, sound off on that as well. And yeah, if you agree with the assessment, definitely let me know as well. But I think we're going to end the video here. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.